Samsung's Galaxy A52 was a huge success, and building upon it, the company just launched the Galaxy A52s 5G. The phone is available in two configurations: the base 6GB RAM plus 128GB variant that goes for some 36,000 rupees in India, whereas the 8GB RAM plus 128GB version, which costs 37,499. Looking at those numbers, it's pretty easy to conclude that the A52s 5G is priced a bit higher than it should have. Technically, this phone's ideal pricing territory is around what the OnePlus Nord 2 and the Poco F3 GT retail for. But to keep things interesting, Samsung is offering a flat 3,000 rupees cashback when purchasing the phone via HDFC Bank card in India, which sounds like a pretty fair deal. Here in Nepal, Galaxy A52s 5G is expected to launch at a much lower price and will be competing head-to-head against the OnePlus Nord 2. Anyway, considering its specs, this phone seems like a pretty balanced offering. Usually, we know that Samsung's A series of devices compromise on the performance aspect, but not this time. Samsung has offered quite the powerful Snapdragon 778G 5G chipset, which competes directly against MediaTek's flagship Dimensity 1200 and is only slightly less powerful than the Snapdragon 870. Even during my brief time with the phone, I have found the performance on this thing to be quite good, which is all thanks to Samsung's excellent One UI optimization. This, paired with the powerful hardware underneath, delivers fluid UI transitions, fast app opening times, and smooth performance that is further complemented by the 120Hz refresh rate. With the new processor, gaming is another aspect that has seen a significant improvement. Now, games like PUBG Mobile run at HDR graphics and ultra frame rates at max, while it can hit extreme frame rates when setting the graphics to smooth as well. Similarly, Call of Duty caps out at very high graphics and very high frame rates, although you can push it to max frame rates if you dial down the graphics to high. Thus, as compared to the standard Galaxy A52, the A52s 5G definitely looks more promising for the gamers out there. Still and all, it would have been better if Samsung had offered a 360Hz dot sampling rate, as this has become the standard for premium mid-range phones of 2021. As things stand, the Galaxy A52s 5G only has a 240Hz dot sampling rate, which is nothing exceptional. Regardless, the company has taken comparatively big strides in terms of 5G bands, as the phone supports 12 of them in total. The only brand that provides that many 5G bands in a similar price range is Realme. Except for these two, most other companies settle with 1 or 2 5G bands only, so that's a job well done by Samsung in terms of future-proofing the phone. Okay, moving on, its design remains the same as that of the last-gen Galaxy A52. And to be honest, I don't mind this design consistency at all. I absolutely loved Galaxy A52's looks, and Samsung deciding to continue with that is the right move in my opinion. The Galaxy A52s is lightweight, it's compact, and feels good, if not premium, on the hands. In terms of color options, you get 4 choices for the Galaxy A52s 5G. That includes Awesome Black, Awesome Violet, Awesome White, and Awesome Mint, the latter of which is not available in the Indian market for now. Regardless, the phone sports Gorilla Glass 5 protection on the front, and Samsung is also offering IP67 dust and water resistance here. It's important to note that no other brand in this very price segment offers this level of ingress protection. Also, IP67 rating is almost as good as IP68 protection and only lags behind slightly. Likewise, Samsung has been thoughtful enough to keep the headphone jack alive with the Galaxy A52s 5G. Up front, you get a 6.5 inches Full HD Super AMOLED Infinity O display with a 120Hz refresh rate, which is a significant upgrade over the 90Hz panel on the standard A52. As expected, this is an excellent display with great colors and balanced contrast and sufficient brightness for outdoor conditions. And just like its predecessor, this display is complemented by a set of stereo speakers too. But unfortunately, there's no HDR playback support on Netflix as of yet, but I hope the company brings that via a software update soon. Now, talking about the Galaxy A52s's camera, this is where you can expect good output from this phone. We've seen how phones like the Poco F3 GT and OnePlus Nord 2 and even the Realme GT didn't offer excellent camera experience. But with my brief time with this phone, what I can definitely say is that this phone has pretty good cameras. The A52s comes with a familiar quad camera setup that consists of a 64-megapixel primary camera with OIS, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide-angle lens, and a couple of 5-megapixel sensors for macro and portrait shots. I managed to go around with the phone for a couple of camera samples, and as you can see from these photos, they have that classic Samsung touch with vibrant and punchy colors. Additionally, thanks to OIS, the images are able to maintain good sharpness even under low lighting conditions. Plus, I also noticed that the A52s can process human subjects better than, say, the OnePlus Nord 2, and hence the portrait shots are usually better on the Galaxy A52s. Even the ultra-wide-angle shots from the phone are wider with good dynamic range and details than the Nord 2. In the videography department, Samsung is offering up to 4K 30fps from both the normal and ultra-wide-angle lens, further supported by gyro EIS for stabilization. Besides that, you can shoot 1080p 60 and 30fps videos with good stabilization and colors, while even from the front camera, you can shoot up to 4K 30fps footages. For the battery, things remain the same as you get a modest 4500 mAh cell here. I haven't been able to do a thorough battery test yet, but I will extensively test it and let you guys know the result in my full review, so stay subscribed to Gadgetbyte for that. Furthermore, the phone supports 25-watt fast charging, and this time Samsung is generously providing a compatible 25-watt fast charger inside the box. Okay, so that was all for my short impressions with the all-new Samsung Galaxy A52s 5G. It definitely is an exciting mid-range device from Samsung that finally does not compromise on the performance front. As for the pricing, like I mentioned earlier, I think the price could have been even more aggressive, and it would have been better if the company had skipped the 6GB base variant altogether and launched the 8GB version for maybe less than 35,000 Indian rupees. Regardless, the A52s does offer some flagship features at this price point, like IP67 rating, 3 years of firmware updates, and optical image stabilization in its main cameras, which we usually don't get to see on mid-range phones.